I shall now deliver a statement in my capacity as the representative of the Russian Federation. We thank the Special Envoy, Mr. Martin Griffiths, and the Undersecretary General, Mr. Lowcock, for their overview of the political and humanitarian situation in Yemen. We are troubled by the fact that in many parts of Yemen, hostilities go on unabated, and these have resulted in the suffering, first and foremost, of civilians. The situation in the country continues to unravel, and it is generally acknowledged that today this constitutes the world's worst humanitarian crisis. Humanitarian problems and challenges have come to the forefront, requiring an urgent, immediate, and prompt response on behalf of the international community. At the same time, humanitarian assistance is being provided with interruptions. We are troubled by the fact that due to insufficient financing, UN programs for the provision of basic assistance are being suspended, and this includes programs for the provision of food, access to water, and medical services. We are very much troubled by the situation that has unfolded vis-a-vis health care. The necessary infrastructure has been almost entirely destroyed. There is an acute shortage of medicines and equipment. This has all been worsened by the coronavirus pandemic. The Russian Federation has been providing assistance to Yemen through United Nations structures. We urge donors, including those from the region, to step up the necessary support. At the same time, we recall the fact that humanitarian assistance needs to be objective. Assistance needs to be provided on a non-discriminatory basis to all people in all corners of the country, irrespective of who controls any given territory. We consistently advocate ensuring that parties to the Yemeni conflict, as soon as possible, abandon violence and for them to tread the path to a political settlement to the disputes. We see no alternative to resolving problems through intra-Yemeni dialogue. We note with regret that the parties have yet to sign the joint declaration. We support the unstinting efforts of the Special Envoy, Mr. Griffiths. Amid these circumstances, Mr. Griffiths has steadfastly sought to establish discussions amongst the belligerents to end hostilities, to achieve the establishment of confidence-building measures, to tackle urgent humanitarian, socioeconomic, and political questions. We welcome the agreement on the exchange of prisoners and the beginning of implementation thereof, and we highly value the role of the International Committee of the Red Cross in this process. This fact shows that the parties are able to negotiate. We trust that this will enable them to build trust amongst themselves and to establish all-encompassing dialogue. Among those questions where progress can be achieved, there is a situation around the Safar tanker. We urge the stakeholders, including the United Nations Office for Project Services, to account for each other's interests and to operate in a constructive manner with a keen focus on achieving solutions that are acceptable to all. For our part, we will pursue contacts with all interested Yemeni and external parties. We will prompt them to seek compromise and support the efforts of both the United Nations and Mr. Griffiths personally. We will support the efforts of the United Nations mission in Hodeida. We trust that our Security Council colleagues and the entire international community will do likewise. To conclude, we wish to note the following. The situation in Yemen has a direct bearing on the Middle East, the Persian Gulf, and the Red Sea areas. For the achievement of a regional de-escalation, we urge the international community to engage in constructive cooperation in pursuit of peace and stability throughout the Middle East, including on the basis of Security Council Resolution 598. What remains relevant is the Russian blueprint for collective security in the Persian Gulf area, which provides for an inclusive and collective approach to resolving problems. We object to attempts to pin blame for all of the developments in the region on one side alone. We reiterate our call for all stakeholders to begin comprehensive dialogue to create favorable conditions for cooperation. I thank you.